engagement keeps falling.
Ruin that box.
Solid choice.
Smash it.
Smash
Cut
it.
right through.
Spin through it. Spin to win.
Heavily.
Oh boy, this is going to be... Wow! There's so many interactions to keep in mind from both sides. So much counterplay, as a matter of fact.
This is a very interesting game because I am still trying to think about how the dynamic's going to play. Right in these team fights, I believe, honestly, Beatrix going to have a bit of a better time here. Even though, sure, they have a kind that can disengage, and that just gives Beatrix much more room to play in these team fights, using the Renner as well to poke them down before they can even do anything.
Well, I will say that we did lose a little bit of dive from the side of Evo's Legends, right?
Yes.
Again, the disengage is very heavily dependent. It's instant impact. It's not about setup anymore. It's about how much can we actually respond to the defense coming in from the Phoenix side. So it's all about when they use their ability. Not how, when.
Yeah, I'm not even questioning if they will purify. I expect them to further and still play the same way. They understand their box, and they're not afraid to use it. And how about here we go again, right? Like, yeah, the enemy is still wrong.
Still more flickers. They don't care about purifies. Gotta play for the greed. Gotta play for the
This is how we do in Myanmar.
We just flicker in, bro. We just flicker in. We gotta show them what we're made of. Let's get right into it.
There you go. This is the Evo sign now.
Wait, I don't know. I don't see Dreams on the bottom side of the map. He's just chilling. He's just chilling for now. Branson's gonna have that lead. They also get Hijime here. Phoenix actually made the move to the top side.
Wait. It seems like they understand that's a lot of movement at the bottom. This allows for the XP lane to breathe much easier compared to game one.
Yeah, and it's already a little bit different here. Right? I mean, with the Wondershare, with the Evo's Legends, and now with more control over the jungle, Ian's going to have a lot more to say on the Fredrin. He may be building up to a lead that Taz had for the entire game of Game 1.
Interesting. So now we're trying to figure out a way. Either one of these teams is trying getting that early lead. Right? We're looking for that first POI, the first turtle actually spawn, because that's when we're going to see those level 4s being hit. And hopefully, he should be okay. All right, thank God he's all right.
It's about 30 seconds from now, and yeah, Finn is just used to as a Fredrin holding a Kai's, but it's the wrong kind of a Kai. It's the roaming Kai. Yeah, no, they're playing for the XP lane, as you can see, but no, I'm not seeing XP lane Minotaurs. There are Roam Minotaurs from MLSG, a little bit in MY, but Gold lane Minotaurs is what happened in the Philippines, so this is something new. I'm excited to see what Royal Milk can do.
I've actually played with a few XP Minotaurs. It's actually pretty good because your damage is very underrated, and a lot of people don't actually take into account damage with the King's Falling, and especially with a built-in stun and the second skill. Black Dragon down now, nice side gone to really remember those 12 returning range. He's going to be hands by hand right now, transport locked in. Yes, it's a bit of a dash out of Hijime, who picks up the turtle. That's Eddie's been locking him down, but Ocean as well. Dex is trying to run them down, but now they just stay 1-0, making it 2-0. Zevo's so playing turtle.
Look at the trigger control. Royal Milk could have figured in, confirmed the killer too. But he knows maybe he doesn't have the damage just yet, and Genie just take the L.
Exactly. See, now they're adjusting to each other, right? This is, again, when you are after the game number 1 point so long, you're trying to stop off yourself and remembering the behaviors that have been conditioned by your opponent. You got to reset once again. Royal definitely had an opportunity, and he could have preemptively dropped the King's Falling. But again, when we look at Evo's, and especially when you're looking at Cyclops, once he's in that Black Dragon form, the damage technically is already done. You don't know when he's going to stop.
So yeah, even as winners, even Phoenix know that they have to reset too. Not only losers have to reset in a series. So that's definitely something that you can say despite them being young on the global scale. The Burmese Phoenix Esports has quite the medal.
I just wanted to confirm something. When you were talking about EXP Midstar, this is Golden Staff build, am I correct? Or what's Golden Staff? So you don't go for full damage. You still need that tankiness in you, that sustainability, especially towards the late game when you're up against these marksmen who outrange you. In this case, yeah, insane. I don't think they've gone full damage, even though Branson can be easily caught by
because that heavy spin does answer. Alright, so that's great. That's great that we have some confirmation of that.
Because again, I've seen many different variations of the Midstar, especially during the Snapdragon series for sure. But come back into this one, right? No one kind of have found that method yet. Not very big in the version of the game called the unfortunately. Now, people are going to be fought for. As soon as we get out of here, 10 more seconds until the turtle spawns.
XP advantage for EVOS across the board. Looking at that allows for them to clear much faster, rotate faster, and make it sooner. Wait there now. Retro Battle is going to be one house by Taz this time.
Yeah, very clean indeed. At least they're moving together at the same objective. When they disengage, completely disengage. Hopefully they don't die right as they finish our words. But yeah, they're finally out of there.
That and EVOS not only walked away with the main objective, but they burned a lot of battle spells and ults from Phoenix. So they got away with it. They got no one died for everybody. DH already here on This is a phase where as a Beatrice you just hunker down.
You're hoping for the best, right? You're hoping that CC comes down as soon as possible. But again, this is the same move that we saw from last game, right? Really quickly turning around, going to the turtles and spawn. On the bottom side, they want to make sure that's the most impact because that guy, he's basically just going goal.
And so far, I think we are on the course for that the corroding side, and he has a pair of pants.
Yep. Just the way you word it, right? It sounds really funny from Wondershare especially, but again, Roy pants. Anybody hit our power strike,
that is, despite both of them iterating some level. Change one hero.
I think a lot of it comes down to later abilities, right? You can get these so much from one, all the maximize two.
So it is still possible.
Right? Usually you're afraid of the core heroes. Usually you're afraid of Benny. Usually you're afraid of Mok. But look, here, again, as mentioned, it's Jex. But also I'd say, your Royal Milk. They're afraid of when the King's Calling might come out. And it came out at the last minute. Much like those last minute Black Dragon forms. That hook plus King's Calling, Brands wasn't expecting it.
He was waiting for the right moment. He was waiting for that Purify to be popped. He was just bobbing and weaving, just waiting. Okay, a little bit of there, a little bit of here,
a little bit of this,
a little bit of this, and he jumps in with the King's Calling, and yeah, Brands was just simply not ready for that. He thought it was used up.
Yep.
I don't blame him. I don't blame it at all. If game one was supposed to be a battle of fists, just to learn your moves, learn to land those combinations, this is a game of rhythm. It's all about making sure that you time it just right, just perfect. You don't want to get a okay score, you need a perfect score.
And despite the reset, right? Oh wait, Jex finds one!
Beautiful Breath of the Ocean though. Stop that from happening. Fan wants to still look for it. Royal Milk is walking up now. No information just yet as to where the other members are, and Phoenix will not take that risk to open up that bush.
Yeah, they didn't know the Dreams and Psychots were there. That could have been dangerous. That could have been lethal.
Very good call.
At least 2 for none.
Yeah. At least, both sides are disciplined. They understand that even if they do get a fight, what are they really going to get out of it? The objective hasn't even spawned. Pretty much, even if they do, maybe just a mid-tier one, and even then, that doesn't really change the state of the game.
Oh, man, looking at this now in hindsight, about 12 minutes, 30 seconds in, despite it being relatively different, numbers-wise, from game one, the dynamics both teams have brought in, again, given the fact that they've only changed one hero each, are very similar. EVOS is so all in. Like, they will find you, hit the full combo with the burst and the petrify, and then go from there. And then Brands will maybe late initiation, just blazing the wet around. Sure. Phoenix has an amazing box, and also amazing potential for re-engage. That's what's scary. So you really can't count out either approach.
It's, man, they need. I think, especially for Evolve, right, their engagements have been a little linear. It's to be expected, right? It's the same person every single time. We haven't seen them change it up to kind of throw Phoenix off balance to make maybe a unnecessary call.
Wait, he's getting a pretty good push now, bot side. Very good push. No one's recalling now.
This is. He's gonna force it.
Jax with the flicker already. Now it's giving Dream to finds Feya. Now zoning him out. It's gonna be time to find it. Benny's dove in. Psychots finds the kill. And guess what? All the while, Royal Milk was actually baited out. Now Brands jumps in onto Mok. So able to be kited away. But Taz again is able to find Jax.
Hey, yo.
And this might just be it. 4,000 gold. Whoa. He dodges away from it. Now Feyan is actually isolated from the team. He's gonna get chased down by the Panda. And Claude.
They're just messing with him. He can't get back to base.
Delaying the inevitable. Run, Feyan, run!
They're staggering the death timers. This is going to be really good. Look at the way they're just taking their time. The stagger is going to be really massive. Phoenix are not going to have their frontliner, and Psychots picks up the kill right as Benny and Jex spawn. Beautiful stagger.
Ooh.
Eventually, I think the math checks out. That was worth it.
Yeah. It was extremely worth it. He's not going to be back for 30 seconds if these inhibitors are under threat.
All right, so in the wake of this defense, I'd like to say, wait, Dreams!
Oh, he finds Muck there! Royal Milk jumps in with the King's calling. Muck is gonna fall. Taz jumping back and forth. He gets the kill. He does not die. Dreams finds the immortality in the back line. Hazuman is able to find the rough way. Benny has been slain. Psychots is running wild in the back. And Jex will certainly fall. Primal Wrath does not help him. And Evo's Legends, they crawl back. And they equalize in game number 2.
You have to admit, that was a beautiful game coming up from both sides. Incredible calls being made, and what an angle coming out from Dreams. What a heavy spin.
I'm not so sure. My Bahasa Indonesia might be rusty, but that was Sedap Gila for Evo's Legends. That last team fight into the eventual split push threat by Brands, and then the eventual splitting of the whole team fight. Phoenix did not know what to do. Phoenix could not respond. There was just too much Evo's Legends was presenting. And from out of nowhere, too.
That stagger, man. That stagger really did Phoenix dirty.
It
cost them too much. It wasn't worth it in the end.
And the worst part is that Hijime was looking real tantalizing there. He was like, I'm 15% HP. You can absolutely kill me. Catch me. Catch me if you can. Oh, dancing around. What a game. What a game. We're finally, hey, actually, we got your wish. We're going all the way to a game 3, right at the very end.
This is what we wanted. What the people wanted.
3-game series. We're going all the way, folks, for the first day of MSC. We cracked the 1 million PCU already in day number 1. I'm looking forward to crack 2 million maybe in day number 1.
It's provocative. It gets the people talking.
It does. It does.
The best of Myanmar versus Evo's Legends.
Oh, I can't wait for this, because now here's a couple of things that I'm expecting to see out of Phoenix. Number one, eventually it's either they're going to sit on the same side or switch sides, and in most cases when a team loses, that's when you need to start shaking things up, right? So we might actually finally see a different draft coming out from Phoenix this time around if they hop on over to the red.
This does switch up how blue and red interact on the win rate, right? So far since game 1, blue has been winning a lot. But now, Evo's Legends proves, hey, we've got something too. And off of the back of a iteration approach, they changed just one hero, and then I guess they cleaned up their engagements. They were more decisive. They were more sure of how to do it. And again, especially in that moment when we were calling the shot, Brands was down bottom. No one's recalling. Evos is sure. Evos knows.
I did feel that Phoenix in that very particular moment, right, was expecting like the conditioning from game number 1. This was pretty much the exact same thing that happened the last time. Like Brands went down to the bottom side, got that initial push, and then eventually joined the team for the full 5v5. And I think that's when Phoenix were like, yeah, this is happening all over again, right? This is history repeating itself. But no, he kept on pushing a little further, and finally they started to feel uncomfortable. Finally, the morale started to go down, realizing that this could be honestly a potential backdoor.
It's the same weakness that they tried to exploit in game number 1 with the Lapu, but it's even more easily punished here with a Minzathar, right? If Lapu isn't mobile, man, Minzathar's going to have a hard time doing anything if he has to go back and forth, and we saw that in the last few minutes of the game with Royal Milk forced to clear out that bottom lane. But aside from that, I honestly feel like Evo's Legends really fixed these small, minor mistakes that they were making early game in game number 1 that actually gave the space necessary for Phoenix to mount up a comeback, because they were just taking neutral objectives, backing up, using their mobility so well. And that lane swap. We gotta talk about that lane swap. Psychots always where the neutral objective spawns.
If anything, the whole Lapu Minzathar situation was exacerbated because of the fact that Psychots did not have to change his hero, so he knew exactly what Royal Milk was capable of. And now with a less mobile hero, his one dash is his ult. The one time that Minzathar jumps out is when he has to press the ult. So that made Psychots' late Black Dragon form engagements all the more efficient, all the more effective. And yeah, he picked up the huge. This is Festival of Blood, Petrify, Hunter Strike, and your gamut of defensive items. This is how you play a Yuzhong.
Yep, and you know, half the time, especially maximizing the duration of Black Dragon form, as soon as you see the King's Calling, well, I still got a couple of seconds to work with to position myself outside of it so I can utilize my full kit and really punish my opponents. But that's the thing, right? This is space denial, and if we're talking about space denial, at least for the side of Evo's Legends, they don't really care about it, right? It's all about working around the clock, looking for different angles to hit your opponents and to make sure that this isn't a traditional front-to-front, because if it was a traditional front-to-front, Benny would have gotten out with so much more.
It's the scissors to Phoenix's paper.
Exactly.
I don't know how, but Phoenix got away with playing paper in game 1 and won. But now, all the more, they understood, hey, maybe it wasn't the Lolita. Maybe we needed someone to cut right through that box. Phoenix loves their box. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that they are now strong. They know their macro, they know their micro, and they play a certain way, but we didn't know how much they love their box. So here, EVOS Legends, Coach Age and the gang said, you know what? Cut that box up. Dreams, you're playing the Akai.
Let's get deep in it. And I think, looking at the highlights overall, this is, the perfect example of it, right? Dreams is just looking for a way to kind of disengage the rest of the teams, but it's all about the timing. Whoever uses or presses their ultimate first, you need to find that follow-up. And Psychots, he manages to catch out Benny more times than he probably should have, especially since he's standing right next to Mox.
It's almost like, in game number 1, Benny was almost untouchable, and in game number 2, Psychots made the necessary minor adjustments to be able to catch up. He waited on a lot of these abilities, even the basic attack after second skill, so they can gap close after the flicker.
I mean, that, and he still had Hijume on him, plus Dreams. They just overloaded the young Burmese prodigy. He's thinking about both the Akai, the Kadita, and the Yuzhong. There was nothing left, and yeah, because of that, it ended in a snap. What was that? Under 15?
Under 15. It didn't go double the distance, unfortunately, right? And I think that's where Phoenix really wanted to start, catching back up. But there were good moments, right? They equalized the score. It was like, 5-5 for at least 4 minutes straight until we got to that very last fight.
Yep, looking at the item build here, nothing much out of the ordinary. You see here that Jex is building up to have good coverage. He has that tough boots to protect himself from the massive amount of CCs, the flickers, of course, something that might be specific to Myanmar. Now you see here EVOS. Again, Taz builds first. I'm not sure. I think, yes, he built the War Axe first.
Yeah.
Thunderbelt and then Guardian Helmet.
And he even has a Fury Hammer next, right? Like, he wants to go for some more damage in that late game.
He means business. He means business. He's like, all right, we added Dreams just in case. I will also kill Benny.
Just having that extra insurance policy is always great, right? I mean, as a jungler, you start things off, get that Molten Essence, eventually start building to whatever you need to. And I think War Axe is such a cost-efficient item compared to something like a Hunter's Strike or even Endless Battle. It just takes too much gold.
And looking at the post-game stats, you'll see this time around, it's EVOS who has that good split, right? Phoenix, they were very Mox-centric, but yes, despite him surviving a lot of heavy spins he shouldn't have, EVOS had a clearer go at it. EVOS understood that we're going to get these kills, whether it's off of, again, very clearly, Psychots and Hijume. They knew that they were just really gunning for Benny. They were gunning for Mok even, and they got their quarry. They understood, and they are now sitting at match point. Both of them match point. Game 3.
It's back to a best of 1.
It's back to a best of 1, and I don't know what's going to happen here, right? When do you call it quits on, how long can we really elevate this draft? How long can we just do the fine-tunings, right? The minor adjustments like we saw in game number 2.
Well, again, EVOs are slow starters, so the fact that they started so well in game number 1 shows you how promising this new iteration of EVOS Legends, the refining that they were able to do during the downtime of, the tournaments. EVOS Legends have come a long way from, obviously all the games where Brand's got a lot of that hate, a lot of the moments where he was actually just doing his own thing in these team fights. In this game, I didn't really see much of that. He was 1 HP when he actually cleared out the mini waves, which he had to do, and his split push actually kind of gave them the victory. So they have improved significantly, and Phoenix, again, that approach, it's literally the same approach, but they were outsmarted, I believe, in game number 2 by EVOS Legends, who kept it the same way, but again, made those little minor adjustments that Phoenix weren't ready for.
I love it. This growth from EVOS Legends has shown that they are no longer the one-trick tiger that they once were, right? They're not just Brands in the gang. It is now EVOS Legends.
I thought you were going to say gang in the Brands.
Well, I hope Game 3 doesn't show that, because again, they're off to an amazing start. Again, everyone from the XP down to the gold lane is a legit threat.
Yeah.
They are so good at just allocating and delegating roles and work. I believe now it's up to a Phoenix. Dare I say, what if they bring in the other two?
What if, and really change it up? I mean,
EVOs are slow starters, so you give him a new team
and then
to start
resets.
with. It resets. Oh, interesting choice. They might actually try to do that here. Remember though, they might not want to reveal all their strats. 1-1 is already not bad for both of these teams.
PAX7 and simpler waiting, man. They're warmed up. They're like, oh, we see it. Oh, Psychots and Hijume want to dive.
Waiting for the call.
Yep, coach. Bring us in, coach. Let's go. In Burmese.
In Burmese, yes. Oh man, but then okay. So if that's going to be the case, right? Because I do feel that overall Jex has been playing an overall strong game. So how much do they change without really messing up the dynamic so far, right? Because then where do you attack the map? Are you going to be looking to hurt Taz? Because a lot of these times, as you've mentioned before, Taz has been that workhorse trying to go into these fights and more importantly to secure these objectives. And the slight adjustments in game number 2 where they're actually focusing down on making sure that Feiyan doesn't get even remotely close or is put down to 1 HP to make that early retribution come out faster.
I think targeting Taz isn't really going to be a viable option to go for because, again, Taz is always placed on these independent heroes in the jungle, right? He is that workhorse, like you mentioned. He's a very independent jungler, and he always makes the utility jungle role work. You take away the Lancelot, now that is a way you can try to shut him down because the Lancelot is just emphasizes Taz's playstyle. It really synergizes well with his playstyle, and if you take away the Lancelot, say, force him on a Fredrin, which hasn't actually been doing too well despite being 100% in the pick rate. He's actually lost 4 games and only won 2. So right now, not looking really good for the Fredrin at all.
So what if that is the direction? In addition to maybe Simple and PX7 coming in, who I assume might play a more traditional mid lane duo, right? Instead of like the Edith plus Eve. What if it becomes simpler, like
an initiator and an
killer. Yeah, there you go, right? So there's not much you can do for mid. Sad time to be a mid laner. But yeah, that's what I'm saying is, what if in addition to the Simple and PX7 Gambit, they try to, in-game and in the draft, choke out Taz? What if that's what's been holding this new EVOS Legends together?
I suppose whether it could shake things up, right? But I feel like the dynamic is going to come down to the draft more than anything else. I feel like a lot of this is going to be linear towards that mid lane. But let's keep in mind, the 2 heroes that cannot be picked so far is Hellcrit and as well as that Grok. That needs to be abused. And again, the only people who really mess around, especially with these artillery types of mages, are going to be the EXP and roamers. So I do feel like there's going to be an adjustment, and we are going to see things, especially when it comes down to, like, hey, maybe Farsa needs to start coming back in. Maybe we need to start opening things up like Glue and as well as Farmis. That is a natural relationship.
Maybe ban the Yve, go for the Faramis, right? Something that we have seen before. Was that, or just another iteration of just leaving the Glue open, picking up a Faramis for yourself. A lot of these, strategies that we've seen before in our local MPLs, yeah, they kind of have been slashed a bit here in the series. Glue getting banned, even the Joy not, let open at all. There's just a bit too much respect, I feel, for these heroes. And honestly, I want to see some differences in game number 3. If they go for the same exact draft, then it's just a battle of wits again.
EVOS and Phoenix aren't really touching the jungle. I don't know if it's respect or the fact that they both know that these 2 dudes can play anything, Feiyan and Taz. But yeah, no, not a single jungle ban. I hope that maybe they start attacking the Lancelot, the Fredrin, forcing one or the other into the role. Hey, what if Feiyan steals the Lancelot? He has a pretty decent Lancelot.
That's a really good point here. I didn't think of that, actually. Maybe if they, start... Well, to be fair, it could just get banned out, but let's say hypothetically that Feiyan does get access to the Lancelot. What is going to be the response coming in, especially for EVOS Legends, right? Because again, Lancelot is one of those heroes whereby it's a bit of a struggle. I'm thinking Assassins, but the win rate for EVOS Legends on Assassin junglers has not been very good.
Yeah, you don't want to give him Fredrin, right? Fredrin is iffy at best in the hands of Taz right now. No Hellcurt. He played a Hellcurt in the grand final, so that means Coach Age has plans for him. Like, EVOS Legends is prepared to play around the Hellcurt. But that's banned. In addition, Hellcurt is great against Lancelot. You really can't just dash around and be the arguably best objective taker in the game right now when you don't know where you're going. So yeah, no, this whole Hellcurt situation may have made the situation worse for EVOS Legends.
Honestly, I would say the Grok was the big hit for everybody, right? Because he is a very big solution to so many things. Oh yeah, you have an artillery mage, no problem. I can cancel it out majority of the time. Just being Grok, natural abilities, especially with the Nature's Barrier, that wild charge always puts the fear in the hearts of marksmen everywhere.
All right, though, I want to really just talk about EVOS Legends a bit more there, for Taz especially, because Coach Age always has a certain member who he forces to play random heroes that end up being really good, right? In Big Tree Alpha, it was Renbo. That's how he came up with the Johnson Kadita combo, the Gord.
Mid-lapu-lapu,
mid-lapu-lapu, yes, all that. Now for EVOS, it's Taz. He's the one who's been experimenting with a lot of crazy picks. Arla Jungle in MPL Indonesia. Paquito Tank Jungle that was first used in MPL Indonesia. The Tankito.
Tankito.
Tankito,
I love it. So he is Age's monster.
He is Age's monster.
I hope it comes through.
He's a toaster. What?
Monsters.
Monsters.
That's the one. That's the one.
He can do it. I think he can do it.
I think so.
Would he get away with it? I do feel that like Tankito might be honestly not that bad of an option, right? I do,
especially with a few buffs.
Especially with a few buffs.
Homie got buffed. Homie got buffed.
Homie got buffed, but I do like to see full damage Paquito, right? I want to see them snowball all over again. Like, the impression that EVOS Legends gave off in game number 1, it's still sticking with me till now.
I completely forgot, but this man, Taz, we've been talking about his utility jungle, but when he joined the MDL, one hero was 100% banned away from him. It's the Fanny. This guy is a Fanny gone, and we haven't seen the Fanny in so long. So that could come up.
So even if the Fanny is open, you think Jex would allow it? Dude, Duke can play everything. So even if the Fanny comes through, yo, I just pick up a Cho. I just pick up a... Why is the Kaja and Frank when I pick? I pick up a Kufra. What now, Taz Fanny? What now, Fanny Taz?
Even so, I mean, even the Minotaur could be given to him as well, right? Why not in these situations?
That's true. A Roamer Minotaur.
It's just not. It's so annoying to deal with, right? There's so many things that a Roamer could do to really mess up a jungler's day, and that always comes into question in these matches. I'm excited to see what the adjustments are going to be, and especially, I think if this is going to be the case, it's Phoenix who decides which side that they're going to be on. If we see them on red side, wow, we might see a complete turnaround.
I'd like to see that, but also I think this confirms it's not simple in PX7.
Yeah.
Because Jax is still sitting there.
Ah, man.
No trade, so it's not active here in the first day of group stage. Maybe they might cycle through later on in the next few matches that they have.
And when and if they make it through the knockouts.
That's the thing. That's the thing, right? It's 1-1 right now, which is already a pretty good score. Remember, it's like 2-0, I believe you get 3 points, and in 1-1 you get 2 points, and if you go 0-1, you don't get points.
You get points. Imagine how RSG Slater are doing now. Diablo and the gang, right?
They're looking at each other. Guys, if we just go 2-1 each and every single time, we might be able to make it out no problem. If better, just one win.
Coach Cool just said, "Hey, watch this." Right? These guys are crazy. They're strong.
Yeah, they are. But it's time for the drafting phase. Enough of us. Let's see what these teams are going to execute. What tools are they going to put into the hands of their warriors as we jump right into the draft of Game 3. Current score 1-1. Phoenix versus EVOS Legends.
Something to note, their side choice, again,
what's it going to be?
Blue has been heavy, and if it's up to Phoenix, then...
trade. Oh, no, it's the same.
They stay blue!
It's going to be the same thing all over again, isn't it?
Looks like, so far in the bands.
Same bands, exactly the same. No changes at all.
These teams are ready to go. They are banning these things out fast. They're just going boom, 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 each and every one. Phoenix, they want to get the show on the road. They're still hot and ready to take on EVOS Legends. EVOS Legends slowing it down, making sure that they have momentum, resetting to make sure. Let's keep in mind, the conditioning is still there from game number 1 for the side of Phoenix, and they needed to reset in game number 2 if they wanted to win that out.
Of course, they close up the banning phase with the same 3 heroes per side.
Same.
Literally. So it's going to be the E first?
Oh,
they steal it away!
There you go.
They S it away. They steal it away.
Stand tall, stand proud, Leo. He's standing up right now, by the way.
I don't know why I had the shortcut steal, but yes.
But yes, the Lancelot finally going into the hands of Feiyan, and now EVOS Legends looking to respond. It'd be so funny if both teams just switched compositions.
Eve Hijime is something that it is his comfort pick.
He's amazing on the Eve, but I think he knows. But with that knowledge, does he pick up the Eve and say, you know what, I can outplay the Kadira? It's not favorable, but I know how to do it.
I think he does. Hijime is known for playing this Eve. His Eve was literally... one of the standout picks for him. It's his signature, and they will go for it with a Kaja as well.
I love it. I love the fact that at least for EVOS, they're not going to be like, we're not going to take your entire composition. We got to make sure that we do have insurance policies in place, and this time it's going to be in that Kaja. Kaja, super important here because, again, if Feiyan is able to get on top of that turtle pit, he's got a very good chance to beat Taz in that retry battle. It truly is a 50-50, but with a single Divine Judgment, he can turn that 50 to 100%.
If Phoenix don't pick a gold laner here that can do well against carry or just pick up the carry, it's going to be carry next.
We were all hopeful. We were all looking there. It's like, did he get it? Did he get it? But it's going to be Beatrix once more. I do think it is still a little risky, but I do like seeing the Kadira getting into the hands of Phoenix.
All right, so with that, we are going to limit test Hijime. He's been playing around Kadiras as an Eve in MPLID. I wonder if he's ready for a Burmese Kadira.
Oh, We'll see, man. Again, though, Yves, Kaja, you need someone to help that Kaja burst down some members, and honestly, the best choice would still be that carry. The carry against the Beatrix isn't that bad. If you go for the Purify as well, up against the Kadira, you can survive. So I still see this as a viable choice that EVOS Legends can go for. And if they want to go for the carry, it has to happen now because it will 100% get banned out in the second phase.
Also something to note, there is an absence of dragons that are big and black.
That's a good point. I love how you finish your line and instantly Lapu gets locked right in. The timing could not be more perfect.
And then they're gonna ban the Yuzhong.
I was hoping for the timing to actually work out there, but well, let's see. Let's see whether this is actually going to be the
Considering
case,
it, considering it.
Here's the thing, right? I was hoping to see maybe even a Harith option here coming in from the side for EVOS Legends. You know, Brance has played it before, and I think it actually does pretty well, especially if they're going to be playing gold lane centric, and they need to start smashing this matchup against Benny.
I don't know. Looking at it, you know, he's had a few or many moments to go for the Harith or a Lunox or just a mage gold laner in general or just a different gold laner, even Valentina. He tried it and it never works out for him. So I think in terms of signature, in terms of comfort, it still has to be the marksman, as he's known for, the king of marksman in Indo.
I think that's fair as well. Edith gets banned out. The respect!
They read into it. They understood. And here we see Phoenix blocking out Brand's picks. They're okay with the Claude.
So, they're okay with the Claw. I was expecting the Claw first and then maybe consider the carry here, but the fact that they're banning out the carry does kind of give away information, right? That Phoenix is looking to posture to make sure that they have at least a lot of tanks. EXP lane probably going to be attacked. Maybe they could also be looking to hold on to the Franco possibly if EVOS don't ban it out.
Oh yeah, no, EVOS is thinking Franco ban or Yuzhong ban.
Tough call, tough call. Yuzhong. They decided to go for the Yuzhong. Alright, they want to make sure that Brands is going to be okay.
This is a no dragon zone.
No dragon zone. They're done with the dragons, man. After game number 1 and 2, the dragons are doing so much in the game.
One dragon being named Psychots. It's amazing. Game 1 and 2. Despite losing game 1.
Yeah, despite losing game 1. I'm just imagining Coach Agi just looking at Psychots is like, I'm sorry, bro. I gotta ban this. And he's like, I understand. Ooh, Brody gets banned out.
They're so okay with the Claude.
Wow, they want him to play the Claude.
I think at this point it's really because for Phoenix, they might actually have better mid control now with the roamer that they're actually thinking about. And with that, Brands isn't really going to be able to do much as he did previously on the Claude. The reason he was able to get so much space was because of that mid control continuously going to the favor of EVOS Legends.
I suppose, but then again, if we really break this down in terms of mid lane control, it's tough to outpush both the Eve and as well as the Kaja. We finally get to see the blocking coming in from Claude. That's to be expected. Coming back to Phoenix, right? Again, same exact problem. How do you kind of maintain that control?
Here it is with a Franco, and whoa! Royal Milk with his Terizla. Okay. I like it. Again, it's very clear. Still, even when the draft has to change drastically, Phoenix still plays with their box. They love their box.
They're going to get a box some way, some form, whether it be a penalty zone or an RWM.
It's more like a bowl this time with the penalty zone.
Yeah, it's circular. It's circular. It's even the rough waves.
They've got some good combo components, I will not lie. Right? Phoenix, it's all about just chaining the ultimates together.
And it's guerrilla warfare. They have great re-engage.
I think
better vision this time, too.
Do they have better vision?
Taz is smiling. I have a feeling he might go for something like a Fanny here, but they go for the
Monster. Oh, man.
I was hopeful. I was
same.
Monstaz.
Monstaz. We'll just go for the Martez,
Martez.
Anti-CC Martez. Martez does really well against the Lancelot, by the way. The anti-CC, especially against a Kadira and a Franco.
Get out of penalty zones, too?
More importantly, they can actually play for the early game. And I think that's all going to be something that's great coming in from EVOS Legends. But run me through it, boys, before we get into the Land of Dawn. Which do you feel is the stronger draft? I'm going to start with Leo, Phoenix, or EVOS Legends.
If you are a conservative player and you just want to stick to what you know, I think EVOS drafted very well. That's very comfortable for each and every one of them across the board. But when you're talking about potential, when you're talking about like the ceiling of their execution and what kind of firepower they're able to output, I love what Phoenix has done here.
All right. What about you, Mirko?
I think Phoenix basically drafted the same way that they drafted in game 1 and 2. It's still the same issues here with a low mobility XP laner that can be completely punished by brand so Evos.
Okay, that's fair enough. I'm going to lean towards Phoenix, and I'm going to right off of your point, because you put it in perfect words, Leo. The skill cap, the potential coming out for Phoenix is just so much higher. One single iron hook could change this game. And immediately we're going to go into the pause. Whoa, even the game itself is like, I can't handle this intensity.
Yeah, no, and is that not where Phoenix wants to be? As a challenger, as a newcomer to MSC, you don't want to be the one responding to what's going on. You don't want to be the one who is put on the back foot. So with that being said, I think with the lineup that they have, again, the penalty zone, those hooks, and as well the Kadira, the first time we're seeing Mock here on a mid laner that dives, by the way, in this series. I think things are going to change, and so yes, that's why I favor Phoenix.
Yeah, well, it looks like we have a Type 4 issue, which means probably something going on with their audio. They need to make sure that they have clean and crisp. It's super important that these headsets work for them just to make sure that they can communicate them with minimal delay. So don't worry, our marshals have got that covered. In the meantime, we get to discuss and theory craft a little bit more, because again, where do you attack on the map? And I feel with Phoenix, they've got so many different angles that they can come from. It's a little bit more straightforward for EVOS Legends.
Walls are going to matter more for EVOS. They don't want to fight where it's tight. The opposite for Phoenix, which works well for their box, because when you say box, you want an open field.
Yep.
But Phoenix actually enjoys where it's tight, especially when you find this odd penalty zone with just two dudes. This is the kind of matchup we're in. If Royal Milk finds a penalty zone for two, he'll take it.
Neutral objective control is going to be the name of the game for the side of Phoenix, right?
Which I'm exactly thought about, the Turtle Pit.
Exactly. Turtle Pit, those round, those little clinch spots that you want to try to force Evos in is going to be the main win condition for you. You need to try to bait that out. But the thing is, Evos Legends have what it takes in Game 1 and Game 2, brands with a split push.
No, here's the thing. The one thing that we didn't see from Phoenix from Game 1 and Game 2 is the early lane swap, right? The EXP laners want to make an impact, and of course, Psychots was there for every single one of these turtle fights. I can't say the same for Phoenix, but now with the Terizla, I expect him to match him every single time, because Terizla is going to absolutely smash Lapu Lapu pre-level 4.
It'll be closer to a 50-50 now. In Game 1 and 2, it was Lapu Lapu versus Yuzhong, Mincitar versus Yuzhong. So yeah, this time around, Terizla versus Lapu Lapu. Yeah, definitely. No, just on a step-by-step comparison, yeah, Terizla's very fast.
Yep. Especially in that lane again. So we'll see whether it's going to be a point of contention, maybe even a pain point for EVOS Legends. They might even get that if it goes so badly in the EXP lane. They might need to call their junglers or maybe even a roamer just to show up, show presence to get that lane pressure.
I think the concern right now is the fact that XP lane is no longer that 1v1 lane that we knew from MSC 2022 M4. Now it all relies on the mid as well, right? Mid control, I think earlier we kind of suspected that maybe Phoenix wanted to go for better mid control, but with the Kadira and the Franco, I would still actually give it to Yves and Kaja to clear out this mid wave a little bit faster. So with that, they should be able to utilize that faster rotation into the XP lane to get a better position for Psychots to actually respond to the turtle first, which can change a lot of things.
And that's on a sustainability note, right? You're clearing mid waves much faster and you're able to stay for much longer. That's what Phoenix is lacking. Franco and Kadira, they go in. You know when their ults are spent, they can't re-engage. They have to wait.
Here's the thing, right? I agree with all these points. Mid is going to be super important. However, the very, very start of the game, we have seen teams actually go with the formation of sending their mage up by the EXP to get their early level 2, while the support sits around in the mid lane, hits their own level 2, and then looks to rotate across to make as much impact in the widest net possible.
Which we didn't see much here at MSC.
Exactly.
That was all the rage at SEA Games. It was all the rage in the, playoffs that happened in the past couple of months. But now, what's going on? Has there been a change in the zeitgeist, in the culture, through the scrims? Because again, I don't know if it happened at Snapdragon.
It happened very often during the Snapdragon, right? But again, it's on condition. Like, how strong are you at level 2? And I think in this case for Phoenix, it's the perfect time to do so, because you're not going to get mid anyway. You might as well hit your level 2s and maybe start affecting with the weaker side, or maybe even the stronger side.
It's all very situational, right? And I think you're right. I think in this particular situation, that level 2 power spike is going to give Phoenix so much more room to play with, so much more kill threat in the early game, kill pressure that they can place on EVOS Legends, because honestly, that's what they need to play with. Wave pressure isn't the way to go for them.
But it doesn't come for free. There's an opportunity cost to get that power spike, right? If you park your dudes in mid, you can rotate where you're needed. But if you go for the XP gambit, that's it. You're stuck there until you get there, all right? And with that, is that game time?
That's game time. We're getting right into it. Welcome, everybody. This is going to be the very final match. Who's going to take it away? It's going to be Phoenix on the blue side versus EVOS Legends on the red side. Let's find out. As we jump right into it, we don't see too much of an interaction through the mid lane, but no, we didn't get to see the cool maneuvers in the beginning.
No. They parked them both in mid, and that means we're at 50-50. No one got the checkmate. No one won.
They're just going to isolate their targets, right? I mean, Royal Milk, he's going to have the best time in the world in side cots. After the punishment he received in game 1 and game number 2, this is like, all right, this is sweet, sweet revenge.
Yeah, both the gold laners as well, just playing it super passively. But again, Dreams on this Kaja, you can expect him to play more towards Brands. He wants to utilize this early, no-kill threat Kaja to just build some pressure, open up the map for Brands, giving him a safer lane. Meanwhile, Taz, the workhorse is doing his thing once again. Fan getting a little bit of damage onto Dreams there, even using the Retribution to poke him down as Jex looks for a hook, gets. Hello, Taz. Oh, they might just be the full commit. My goodness gracious, Taz. Definitely, had a little bit of a surprise there.
Oh, they did. Luckily, Mock, he was very confident. He was like, okay, if we have enough damage, we can bait something out of him. We know if we, use that Petrify, we can guarantee the kill, but there's also the opportunity that the Mortal Coil goes through first.
Yeah, so with that, again, we're at 50-50. No one lost on anything. Taz didn't spend his Retribution out of panic. No battle spells from Phoenix either, and now we're at clean 50-50 for this turtle.
Oh, Royal Milk still saving the penalty zone, jumping in already, doing some damage onto Taz, but Fan has taken a lot of damage as well, getting poked down by Human earlier. Dream is waiting for level 4. Once he gets that, the Divine Judgment will give him lots to say, but the Bloody Hunt locks him down in the rough waves. From Muck will pick up first blood for Phoenix.
That was a really good call. They knew he wanted to get level 4. They were going to prey on him for it.
There was some level of conditioning there because so far in this 2-minute, 30-second game, there's another hook!
Jex is lethal, and that side cut. Another member falls. Taz, is he still going to try to look for this right now? He does have the Mortal Coil. He's going to jump in and Taz! Out Retries Fadia just walks in and jumps out with the Retry win.
No way. We need to get some. Honestly, I'm going to talk to Freddy later. In this game alone, what are the stats for the retributions between these two junglers? You never know who's going to get it.
Oh, that was amazing. Let's see what this 800 gold lead has done for Phoenix. As you can see here, Benny can go either way. He can go for the early Hunter Strike, can build up quick to Blade of Despair. All this while Brands gets a pair of pants on first, and keeping that gold lead very close. Again, 50, 30 gold between these two gold laners. We're off to a good start.
Very good start indeed. Again, we're not seeing much aggression from either side, right? I expect to see EVOS being the aggressors here and looking to specifically punish like either Mock or even Jack. One or the other, right? It's hard to reconcile something without speed coming in from engagement and reinforcements. The timing of the computer passive actually fucking getting that heal on that extra couple of seconds. That could have been the difference maker there. Unfortunately, this leads you away with it. Fine, no big deal.
This turtle goes up. So far, Fayan has been on point, keeping her retribution when they need it, spending it when they don't. And so far, I'd like to say that we get their going.
Yeah. They're just going to keep them isolated here. For now, we think the early proxy and taking a quick call coming from the side. You can see Real the keep going hard. Yes. Days way down from Jack Taz is opening up first side right there. The push just yet.
I love it. That's a great one. That is a great one. But at the same time, we need to talk about the cover right now. They were able to get what they wanted. And more importantly, get the entire cover side up and those important buff from them, as well as eating your line. This is a great start. XP frontliners for Evo's Legends. So get up, take the kill. That's Snowfall that we're talking about. That potential should be 3-0.
I thought that wall was over Royal. I thought that he was on his way to own. Oh, wait!
Royal Mill, that's a flip penalty zone. Huge man, no purified this time. Locked down.
I was saying Royal Mill was actually trigger shy in that immediate engagement, but then again, as soon as he saw the link,
if it goes bad, that's going to make that 10.6k lead from the side turn into a 5k, and then
ahead of his lane rival, and yeah, he's on his way to a beautiful dominance. I think it's going to work against him. A majority of 86! I love dominance right there.
It feels bad for Royal Mill, who's supposed to smash this winning matchup. I thought it's more as a team fight than Royal Mill themselves. Now keep in mind, it's all about their ultimates, not going game.
Perfect zone too. In contrast to Cyclops, who's all right with it, maybe all right. Bravest Braver part one here, and then again the other charges. When it matters, I was like, we're playing around. Yeah,
That's actually really. Wait, Royal Mill. He told me he's the one who left it down here. Down, Brand's down for 2. 2 for 1. Yeah, he can't stop there. To the back, even getting out of range. We'll give another divine judgment. Wow, I can't believe they found one back there. I thought it was definitely going to be a 2 for 1 for sure.
Yeah, he was flashed out too late. Yeah, he's always on his own. I wonder if that was well communicated. Or was it like a last minute thing? It was like, I can still do it. I mean, look at the movement, right? Like, he specifically super little late to the fight, right? It takes the half out. While this is happening, you literally just let the ball side of that have to try and clean it up at the end of the day. And clean up he did, but in the form of just one thing, they teach me. Here's the Lord.
Hey, Jack, nobody's in there. Guess what? You wasted for nothing. You look like an idiot. But this time, he is on point. So hot right now. So hot.
And not just that, they started off with the best of feet. They did it the bro. He didn't get that. He was the first time that even before he could come on. So I think thinking, you know what? It's fine. First down and Jack. They're engaged.
It just feels like Eagles like this is indications. They do that. That's what so far, I feel like, Benny has been targeted, but not as much as he was even in game to itself. He shows up late on the offense to make sure that the team goes for that big combo, but keep in mind, he works very, very closely with less with Royal Hill because of the back of those legends.
Makes sense. Mock and Jack, they're interchangeable. The combo plus specified words the same way as a right now. Kill the Benny.
The thing is, right now, Phoenix, again, they just need to go for these 5v5s, but at this point, I think that goal lead is really starting to hurt them, right? Like, Benny isn't able to close this, and even if he closes this damage is certainly not enough, right? It's a significant 2.55.
Some 2Ks are huge, some 2Ks are small. This falls on the board.
With major transactions, this one we were a little bit before, right? Who aren't there just yet, but if they delay it, it's be something one or two times, they should be able to hit their own power high. Maybe if you feel Michael Jack's next, the response just yesterday, very good jokes, and he finally told them good side step to escape from that iron hook. But Phoenix got a pretty good opening now on to the board. Has had a good job playing on it. Instead of this, trying to go for a tap with a mortal coil. He's going to go for everybody. Knocks them down. That'll be a free retribution. Now, if you want to play right now, Phil's going to be able to go for the most right to the back of the line. That's still able to survive. Dodging here and there. Going. Taz is alive. And Eagle somehow comes out on top. And a 4v5. No way how to do that. How does he get away with this?
Yes, Taz lives through that. Evil's Legends understood the situation. They knew that they lost the board.
No way.
This Lord, for Phoenix, marching up to the top lane is so expensive. Yes, they are going to buy some time to be able to spawn back and regain some parts of the map, but it was too expensive that the crosswalk on the way they need more for the next engagement. So yes, they have to push up top. There's this wave that they're forcing Cyclops to answer down bottom, but I don't think it buys them much in terms of team fights, at least in these coming minutes.
But I think, especially with the middle wave already staggered, right? They only have to wait to really care about it. But other cards, yes, that's totally fine. At the end of the day, there's still that opportunity to find that information. That's why they're sniffing out. That's why Dream's going a lot forward. It's by going that has that. I don't know if he's using this even more.
Speaking of forward, y'all fellas think that Benny may have not more than he can do. Like, look forward earlier, right? On the shotgun. He's doing like it's like 2021.
You're right. Literally, 2021, the Matrix Wesker combo. And unfortunately, the hitbox is not there. It's not the same as it was before. And even the damage has been definitely far off. But good Jack. I know that extra
down three. And forward here. Hamilton's being on the penalty goal off the play. He's going to be able to purify right now. It's like it's not going to be enough. Now that's purified Benny. Brad will still be able to take one down. Tycos still surviving. Benny is still alive. Benny might just be able to do it. They take the bad double kill. Looking for some sort. He's able to equalize it. Look at him new wave. Crashing down the base.
Oh my gosh, they're going to lose this inhibitor turret. All of this by 3-2 in favor of Phoenix.
Plus an inhibitor takedown. The penetration is permanent damage. The turn of favor, Phoenix are now the aggressors.
Honestly, they're not going to go for anything else. Fans are actually selling out the inhibitor. They're really brutality. And Phoenix will not be able to do anything else. Let's do.
My goodness, losing 2 inhibitor turrets off that interaction alone, that's devastating losses considering the build score. I mean, it's level 17.
All right. I correct. Phoenix made the most of that expensive word from previous. And now, here's a luminous one. I'm not sure if it's going to get evolved, though. But yeah, this is, we're talking about massive pickle leagues, right? I think it's 5 pickle leagues will be big. Right. How do they have enough?
These are getting rather nuts here. I don't know. The linear paths that we've been seeing from all the members from Phoenix and as well as Evo, like they're starting to really understand it, right? And if you show that they're really into who makes that big first move, I think especially for Phoenix, it's a little bit more straightforward, right? It's very on their own. For Evo, you need to take the time with it, and especially with the interaction that we saw early with Bloody Honey, as well as Mortal, they can replicate that all over again. They might be able to make it happen. No, we are seeing 2 people come in.
Yeah, Romer goes to
Lord, though. Lord is already down to half of his HP. They have what's the commitment already. Royal Miller trying to show us how to win. They have vision of chance, and they have with consistency, just like pushing down the battle about lane. Steve Seeded, those reflections cannot withstand that macro push, that forced error.
Cleanest score taken this Asian game. All the others have been
And they lose. They
always.
Oh my goodness. It feels like they just put Evo's levels one time. They saw Brad skill pushing in game number 2, and they're like, we're taking that. We can do that too. We can do that. This is brutal. I mean, they timed it well. With the Lord being taken almost such a 3 seconds with the wave. Let's see how this fight occurs.
The waves are doing pretty well right now. Micromanaging right there. That's to be fair. I can talk all the way. He's going to be able to find Mom right there. Brad back to the kill. Penalty zone. All the members. They're going to be right there. Dealing some damage, but it is going to be ultimately Eagles Legend who choked them back. Royal gets isolated completely and is turned around again. 2-4-0.
Amazing defense by Eagles last year. They are teammates, and we were talking about leads right now. A small 2.5K lead, right? From a large 500 gold lead to a small 2.5K gold lead. You must have just understood the defensive dynamics. It was the most interesting thing how they did that.
Let's go with this defense, right? Because all the offense were blown here. Almost immediately to see Claude instantly finding that first pitch. Once the ultimate is done, and you saw Royal doesn't get too much out of this defense zone. The rest of the team slowly swarmed around the defense one by one.
What happened here? Jack suddenly got caught. That's going to be done. One shot to the back line, but he's going to hit the purify out of that right now. Now, quick, escape off to safety. Phantom execution back defensively. And he will not be able to crack that open, but they were really close. One hit away.
You can't miss a beat here. You can't blink. You can't leave. Go to the bathroom. Take your phone with you if you're watching. But just saying, I have to say, the fact that Royal is at 1-5-5, his Festival of Blood is not doing much. So even if he does get a swing and maybe towards the people with the penalty zone, he's not as sustainable. So that's maybe one key to why that siege in the potential end for Phoenix didn't work out. So I'm guessing he was going to play to that strength, and they understand that, hey, Royal doesn't get so bad.
I mean, he's playing through his, like, the skills all very naturally, and I mean, his items are dedicated to being a fighter, right? That's maybe all that he wants to do. He's going full damage.
El Clasico. Wow. He's had it. Yeah. I assume this is where Tabs would have gone if time went on. If the game again. You know what? Fine. I'll do it.
But again, we have a team but particularly not like Hijime, right? He's been getting right on top of him, trying to get as many auto attacks on him as he can, but still, it's a lot of health to get through, especially if he has that force breastplate.
And I think what the response from Phoenix's jungler, who has been doing quite a bit on the map. He's no longer just for clearing waves, no longer just for farming the jungler or major things. I think he understood the fact that yo, I'm excellent. Much like Taz. Look at Taz, man. 9-1 and 9. Taz been having an amazing game. He has an amazing series.
He is playing out of his mind. In this game, he's really popping off, but this is where he sees a lot of background movements, right? Don't have any inhibitors like waves. They can force it out of them. They can take the time. Yeah, Taz now with it. Look at your waves. He cannot support you for that long. Benny, look at Benny, right? Benny and Jax, you said it. He makes me think of that foot maneuver and he's looking for it, right? The fact that only Psychos is back. He most likely just noticed something fishy. He noticed that Benny and Jax are missing something. They steal the bottom lane right now. Bottom lane, turn it down, Flicker, and this time Jax to be caught away. And they have to use the game for the board, so they will not even be able to find that Phoenix. They did not commit. Royal Milk is caught behind the mobile. We can't get down now. Future is down. Should just pay out with another blazing. Our favorite fighter is another lockdown. Fight the fight, trying to steal him away. That's the mortality bot in time. Royal Milk penalty will now survive. I think Raz protecting away. Using that damage to its face. For Royal Milk, resurgently fall 2-0. Free for Evo's Legends. The commitment we needed to see. The commitment from Phoenix to chase them down all the way to the very end.
There was a pincer maneuver there, for sure. But yes, there may have been hesitation along the way, and Phoenix just like half of them, 2 out of 5 said, yeah, no, let's not do that. And that's what resulted from the free pickup, and eventually a free Lord of the Way.
Well, again, I think on land, like the 50-50 very quickly around, but it's on the assumption that Phoenix doesn't catch it first. They want to risk all of it here. Kind of a for an out here as well. Everything thrown out of dreams now. Push it on the ball. Walking him down. The decimation comes through. The mortality is to be popped away.
Lord coming here in 5 seconds. Mind you, Fan and Walker out for 50. This is going to be a dangerous defense. If it's ever going to happen, I think he gets lost out of the water.
Less than that. Honestly, about 15 seconds from here on out until we see that Lord crash on, especially with the waves. Even better, he wants to clip the waves forward as well. They want to end this quick. That's the Lord in the mid lane, one hit away. It's heel flickering forward.
Divine judgment. The Tigers claw their way to a victory. Starting small, decimating everything in their way.
You can hear them even from here. They are excited, and it's great to see that Evo's Legends coming to form. But what a battle! Every step of the way, every moment, every minute that passes, something to learn. Oh my goodness! Myanmar comes out 1-2 against Evo's Legends, and it kind of gives us a good power scaling for the rest of the tournament.
I love it. We've given the MVP over to Red Sox. We've given an MVP over to Benny in game 1. When is Taz going to get his nod? Taz had it out of his mind.
This is the time.
Right here, it's Taz time.
It's better. Teams, they're gonna fist bump out there. They gotta show their respect, but man, they gotta be happy. What a battle this has been. The crowd is a whole lot of Evo's fans in the building, all just cheering for them as they win again their first sweep. The fact that we call it, they start slow, and their shots are pretty good. So it's the scary Evo, this new refinement that they have made
on a micro scale, making a game per game. Uncanny. We're not used to this. The moment you watch the series as a whole, that's easy.
that was all material. Straight off from the bat, again, we were expecting to see, plays like this start happening towards the later segments of this tournament. Start things off slow, go in and out, but the format has forced these teams to really focus on consistency and make sure that they start hot. Momentum is key, and honestly, it is working in the favor of Evo's Legends, but you have to be a little proud of these Phoenix boys.
I'm proud of both of them. This is a series worth watching. And there I say, we mentioned it earlier about game 2. We're wondering what RG Slate might be thinking. What RG Slate is SG's thinking right now. Maybe Group B really is a group left.
Right? It's a 2-1. It is a 2-1. But everybody. The tiebreaker is actually a possibility because it's not a sweep. Oh, you're right. The tiebreaker possibility is certainly going